I just climbed back to 2K for the first time in a while, and I did it on random God after barely playing ranked. Why does that matter? Because every day on stream, I hear someone, and it's sometimes me to be honest, complaining that X Civ is weak or Y Civ is broken. But the honest truth is that 99% of games are won by the better player. Full stop. If I can climb rolling a random god every match, you can climb with whatever god you want. What's going on, everyone? My name is Boit, and this here is a game that I played in my session yesterday. Zeus versus Thor, and it's a god that I've there's so many gods like that people are just saying are not good anymore. And I look at it and I say, in what sense of the word are they not good? I don't understand. Is it that they're not good versus a certain god? Are you struggling in a certain matchup? I think that's a valid criticism. Like, for example, one god might be really good versus, say, Atlantean, but then be pretty average versus, say, Egyptian. That's a dynamic inside of Age of Mythology, and it's actually what I find quite fun about it. Not every matchup is going to be run the same way. You have to have a level of knowledge, a level of skill, a level of adaptability to play versus play a matchup aggressively, play a matchup defensively, play a matchup with speed, play a matchup with fundamentals. You can't just play the same way every single game and expect to have the same results because every matchup is different. So, okay, well, let's talk about this matchup. This is Zeus versus Thor. I'm playing Zeus, and I'm thinking to myself, what is my opponent? My opponent here is Thor, and we're so used to a Thor player playing with early Dwarven Armory and going for a dwarf style, like early economy, having an economic boost and advantage where that's concerned, right? That's what we're used to seeing. Now, I scout out immediately. I need to know, make sure my opponent's doing this because recently Norse has been having a bit of a revival in meta, revival in strategy, and I need to be on my game. And the beautiful thing about playing as Zeus, as opposed to, say, maybe one of the more difficult things when you play as, say, like a Ra, is that you have a really good scout. So I charge in. I see the temple. This indicates he's not going for the Dwarven Armory. In fact, he's actually going to be attempting to rush me or attempting to get early game relics. And I just wanna make sure that I'm okay to deal with both. I see this second town center over here with the rhinos and the back gold mine, and I say, well, this would be an ideal town center to grab, but because I'm playing against a early temple Thor, there is no way that I can grab that. So I'm going to actually play for something a little bit different. I see this so come over this way. I see Chocolatl here. I want this relic, one of the best relics in the game. I'm going to drop Bolt onto the Herser. The other thing that I noticed when I did this was I was considering, if he goes Freya, I was considering not bolting this, allowing him to have it if he gets there first. Because I'd need to bolt a Valkyrie. It's really difficult for the it's really difficult for the Greeks to deal with a Valkyrie in your main base. It just is. So it's just simple for Zeus to bolt it. One of the advantages of playing Zeus, but he goes 4 SETI, so I don't really care about the troll. I can kill the troll with my heroes, no problems. So yeah, bolting a Herser to take that relic is well and truly value. And yeah, so I open up with this military academy. I'm searching, and you can see my macro here. I am gearing up to go for this town center. If I can have a handful of hoplites and a Jason and a Heracles, I should be able to get it. I'm also doing something here. He's got these golden lions, which he's scouting, right? I'm really happy for him to scout this and to feel like he's going to be under pressure. Because if I go for this looks like on the surface that I'm playing an aggressive classical age. So I can go and look for some somewhat early game damage and go for that. Now you can see in this thing that he's actually going for the Dwarven Armory. I don't know that. You don't have to do the Dwarven Armory idea like anymore. Like you just don't. You can go really aggressive with Thor early on and then move on to whatever idea you want to go to next. But yeah, I'm gonna drop my second talent center now. As I've got the units out, I'm harassing him away. I made him feel like he can't really attack me because I'm making units, and I'm just scouting. So I'm trying to get information in at the moment. See if he's going for a second talent center. See if he's spamming. I see no second talent centers, so I'm actually gonna pull back up to my talent center to defend here. And well, I also see walls, so fantastic. But I need to know what's happening for him at some point here. But yeah, my second talent center comes up, double Rhino plus gold mine. This is really nice for me to play this way. Had this been not a back gold mine, I might have considered to play a completely different way here. I might have considered to play full aggression. I might have considered to play for centaur here. I might have considered to play for a semi-fast heroic through Dionysus and go for some sort of a bronze restoration push on his second gold mine while applying some light pressure with maybe Hippias or something. Lots of different approaches, and one of my favorite things about playing Zeus is the fact that there are so many different approaches, and this is true for a lot of different gods, but especially true for Zeus. Like, I think he's one of the most balanced gods in terms of strategic approaches. You can play Hermes, you can play Athena into nearly anything. You can play Apollo, you can play Dionysus into nearly anything, and you can play Hephaestus, you can play Hera into nearly anything, and that's just simply not true. That's simply not true for certain gods. That's just the way the game goes. Some gods you need to know which minor god to pick in order to have a good game. Now you can pick the suboptimal one and you can make a game of it and you can have some fun with that, but you have to understand that it is going to be somewhat suboptimal. Now I see him getting the town center up over here, and I'm just looking to delay this as much as possible. You can see that in the villager differential, I'm actually in front here, and I'm just trying to get myself as much time as I possibly can, and I see that I'm not going to stop his town center. I might have been able to restoration push and get a couple of picks on the military units, but I thought maybe if I just pick a villager or two over here, that's going to be enough of an advantage, so to speak. And I get a Hearser, and I say, all right, I'll run. I've got my upgrade for my heroes, so that's good to pick a Berserk in the main base. So we are getting some good value, and I drop a hoplite, but I get a Vil pick. And in these sort of raids, it's not ideal to lose units. But if you look at my base, there's realistically nothing here that he's going to be able to attack. And after all is said and done, I come up with a 4-villager lead, which will get moved into a 3-villager lead once he gets Hammer of Thunder-ish. Maybe I'll have a little bit more. I don't know. But yeah, it's enough of a lead here that I can justify what I've done. I'm happy with how the early game's gone. I played safe. It's not a crazy lead, but it's enough. And now we have to decide what to do next. Now, I'm looking at this game going, what do I need to do? First, I need to make sure that I'm not going to die to any crazy aggression. So I need to make some units. I could grab watchtowers here. That would be valid. But if I grab watchtowers, then that opens up him the idea of going for a second talent center, right? Or a third talent center. If I grab watchtowers and go heroic age. If he grabs a third talent center, then now I'm in somewhat trouble and I have to put some heavy pressure on, and it's not clear if I'm going to be in the lead or not. So I opt for a handful of units and scouting. I'm going to run around with my hoplites because I have priority with these hoplites. The way that I see this game is all based on speed as to who has priority in a matchup. So if your infantry have the highest speed, then you have the priority in terms of raiding with infantry. If your cavalry have the highest speed, then you have priority in terms of raiding with cavalry. And of course, if you have the higher speed on the archers, then you have the priority in raiding with archers. But if your archers are slower than the enemy cavalry, then obviously you can't raid with the archers because you'll lose them all. Or if your infantry have got lower speed than the enemy archers, then you can't raid with the infantry because your opponent will kill you there, right? Or if you have your infantry have the higher speed than the cavalry, then you can't raid with those. There's only one cavalry unit that has less speed than an infantry unit, and that would be what the Yowl. So yeah, that doesn't exist. But that's the premise. That's the idea. That's the thought process. And understanding that can unlock the knowledge of whether you're playing a defensive, you unlock the knowledge of whether you're the defender in the matchup or you're the aggressor in the matchup. And the same thing is actually also true with the myth units to some degree. If you've got myth units that got a higher speed than your opponent's heroes and their myth units, then you've got the priority with raiding with myth units. Now, of course, you can sneak in and you can get damage with stuff always, and you'll see people trying, but against really good players, they're watching for your movements. And if you make a movement like that and you get caught inside of a risk, they're going to punish you. So he hits the heroic age before me, but there's not any weaknesses in my position, and he went Bragi, and I know that if he decides to make an attack here with Bragi and click flaming weapons, he's just not going to have the military advantage to break me. And I'm just very, very happy to sit back at the moment. I see he's on the back gold mine. My goal here is I could go Dionysus here. Without question, I could go Dionysus and I could play for a Mythic Age with Hydra and Hephaestus Revenge. And I think that would be really, really difficult for him to deal with because of how good my position is. But my one worry is, how do I secure a third gold mine? My second gold mine is fine. My one worry is, how do I secure a third gold mine? So I'm thinking, well, if I Underworld and I kill this gold mine, I technically have this gold mine, or he has to come and kill my Underworld, and then I can move over onto this, right? So if I can move his army away, then I don't have to deal with it. I can just secure the next part of the map. And this is another thing that I'm starting to more and more see and understand. It's at the very high levels, a lot of this game is about moving your opponent's army into a position that doesn't protect a vital part of the map. And then during that time, it's time to grab that position, if that makes any sense. So you can see I'm actually interested in this. I tried to be real. I thought I was being really sneaky here with my Pegasus to try and get around the back. Let's see if it pops up on his map here. I think I might have been sneaky enough. No! I suck. Well, we go for it anyways. He's also going to be attacking me here on this town center. That's fine. But yeah, I'm going to go into Manticore with the Pacifist and some Peltast. It's very, very difficult to deal with this. Pick off a bunch of villages. Happy days, getting attacked here. And we, of course, simply just bail. Like, if he kills off my town center, that slows my villager production down. But I just picked off, I don't even know how many units. I picked off a lot of units. I'm also looking for some raids in the main base. But yeah, we just run. This is fine. And we can look for somewhat of a fight here with this amount of Manticore. And I'm going to get more. As the game goes on, I'm going to very easily be able to kill off Berserks. That feels good. He killed off my town center. No worries. Like you can see, I'm actually in an advantage here up until the population differential. So if I look for a early fight, or a fight right away, then I'm actually going to be having quite an advantage. If I wait and he gets up to more population than me, then he might have the advantage. I made a mistake here, which I did rectify after this, but I used my special ability, very smart from him. I used my special ability to hit the units forward, so I actually turned this off. You'll see this here. I turned this off special so that I can wait until there's an actual fight before I use the special, because it is a considerable amount of damage, 72 pierce damage from all of them. So I just wait, and then you'll see on the Manticore mid-fight, we turn them on, and we get a bunch of damage onto the Berserks. Right on that splash. And then, of course, Restoration. So it's going to be a close fight here. He's got a Heroic Age God Power. I've got a Classical Age God Power. Unfortunately, my micro is terrible here, as my Peltas need to be killing off his Goatee first, and then the Throw and Action. I lose a couple of Manticore, but I mean, I don't think losing myth units is as bad as people say. People get very, very concerned with losing myth units, they're first and foremost a unit that goes into your army and helps you kill off human units. And they should die after they get targeted down. That's just how it should be. And it's fine. It's good. That's what should happen. They get good. Like, look at this guy. He's done 1,000 damage. That's good. Look at the Toxodi. He's done 180 damage. Like, which one do you want more of? You want more of the myth unit, right? So we push him back and we get our damage done. We get our town center back up. And after all is said and done there, I have a lead on villages. I have a lead on army. I push him off this gold mine. I have the back gold mine still under my control. I still can't necessarily make a safe push onto this gold, but like I said, I don't think it matters. What I should do when I feel safe to do it is come in and drop a fortress on this backside. That's when I feel safe. If I drop a fortress here and grab this gold mine and siege his main base, that's one very, very simple way to play, and we can get a really big advantage there. But yeah, now we are going to do it for some Manticore raids. This comes back into the priority situation. This is a completely different situation. I have priority. Oh, and he taps out. I have priority to raid here. I don't actually think he should have resigned, by the way. I think the game was still somewhat close. But I have priority here to raid his main base. Not because my myth units have got more speed than his Herser. They do not, or his Goaty. They actually have more speed than the Goaty, but not than his Herser. His Herser are at like 5 speed or something. But I have priority in the sense that I have an escape route through the Underworld passage, which is another form of priority. Say, for example, if you're playing as Oranos and you have a Sky Passage as a retreat point, then you can actually raid with your slow Murmillos, right? Or your Terma, for example. 5-speed Terma can get killed by every single cavalry unit in the game except for the Gal, right? So you could raid with the Terma through the Sky Passage because then you can pop back into the Sky Passage and not lose all the units. So there's that point. So yeah, this is a nice game here of Zeus. Very fun strategy. You guys should consider trying this one out if you get the map for it. And it is very important to have these alternate strategies in mind. So like all of this is asking yourself what your opponent's doing and what's the best way for me to play around what is happening here. Now you have to ask the question as well, okay, Boit, if you say that 99% of the time the better player can win, what should the Thor player have done here? Well, the Thor player should not have had his villagers on this back gold mine. The Thor player should have had his villagers on this forward gold mine with his army on it because I have Underworld. And he doesn't want to drop those villagers, right? And if it's the case then that I can't make that Underworld play on his back gold mine, guess what? He charges in with this attack, and then I'm fighting him on the town center defending this, and he's taking more positions while I'm searching for my Underworld play. I have to take a fight, and we go equal where that is concerned. I don't lose any villagers. He doesn't kill any villagers, but he loses the army. I lose my army. We're still kind of close on villager count. The game goes on, right? I have to say I'm a good Age Mythology player. I'm not going to lose, or at least if I play well, I'm not going to lose on these like little ticky-tack attacks. So the game's going to go on. And if the game is going to go on, then that's a good thing, right? That's you continue along, you can get your next position and you can look for your wins. And where do wins come from? Wins come from, generally speaking, the player that has the extra large gold mines on the map. So in this map, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if one player had 10 gold mines and the other player had 6 gold mines, or if one player had 9 gold mines, the other player had 7 gold mines, the player with 9 gold mines generally have the advantage. And on top of that, there's the town center advantage, of course. If one player has 4 town centers to 2 town centers, that player is going to find a win 9 times out of 10. And then the final sort of win condition that you're going for in terms of fundamentals, in terms of trying to play a good game, is player who has their corner secured is also going to find wins. So if you can secure a corner for a trade route and secure this corner and cut that off, then your opponent can't have a good trade route. Means you have more gold, means you have more ability to trade, means you have a win. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. This is a fun game here. I played a bunch of games from this session. Let me show you off. If you see one that you a matchup you might want to have one of these analysis on, feel free to say that. The standard ones, right? These customs are just customs. These are the standard ones. Played a good game versus Kavoth that I threw. That one might be interesting to go over. But I played a bunch of games here versus a bunch of different players and had some really fun games to play. Anyways, if you guys want to see them, or if you want to ever see a specific game, you can head to my ALM stats profile and you can see what I played there. Suggest something and I can do an analysis. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next one.